All right, so the next step is to import our landscape plan. We do have a local company that put together a planting plan and landscape plan for this specific house. And I've rasterized it. I dragged the PDF into Photoshop, saved it as a JPEG so that now we can import it into SketchUp, and we'll scale it, and then we'll kind of trace it out, and then we're going to start chipping away at this 3D site using some of those tools on Surface and some of these other plugins. So let's get to it. All right, so let's take a look at our landscape plan. And so I've got that in my, let's see, we've got like a resources folder, and inside here I've got like our landscape plan, and you can see what that looks like here. It's got some call outs. It's a pretty simple CAD plan. And what we're going to do is import this in. We're going to kind of match the perimeter of the house, and then we're going to start draping and sketching and drawing. We'll get to it. Now, it's always advantageous to have a plan, for sure. Like, it's hard to work in SketchUp if you don't have a goal. So I would suggest if you don't have the plan in front of you, go sketch it first, just so you have like a direction to go in. All right. So what we're going to do here is I'm just going to back out. I'm going to hide my site. We're good with that right now. And Control-Shift-H, that's my shortcut for hiding, turning off our hidden objects. That's a new feature. So, sorry, show hidden objects. I toggle that with Control-Shift-H, and hidden geometry is just Alt-H. All right, so Alt-H, like that. All right, so I'm going to go back to that resources folder. I can just drag that site, that landscape plan in like that. And I'm not even really all that concerned about the scale right now. I'm just going to rotate it by 180, and we're going to kind of get it in place. Also, a pointer is that whenever I pull in an image, you can see that in my entity info dialog box, it is an image entity. I don't like working with images. I always explode the image, and then immediately just right click and choose make group, like that. All right, so then now it's a group, and inside of that group I have a surface, and that surface has a material applied to it, which is this image. That's an easier entity to work with. All right, I'm just going to move this to the back of the house, and let's kind of see like how this thing is shaping up. I actually got real close on the scale. Let's just see, like, you can kind of scale it out like this, and it looks to me like this is the roof overhang. That's I can't think of any reason why you'd have like those two lines, and this is kind of the exterior wall. All right, so if I want to scale this thing perfectly, I'm just going to measure from here to here, and you can see that's like 29'9". All right, I'm going to double click into this group. So I double click in. I'm going to measure this line from here to here, like that. And then I'm going to type in 29'9", enter. And it asks me, do you want to resize the active group or component? I'll say yes, because it's only going to mess with the group that I'm in. It's not going to change the whole model. That can really mess things up if you were to rescale the whole model. But in that case, we just scaled that one group. And now I can kind of snap it over here like that. And you can see now that like this is lining up perfectly. I don't know. I mean, it's not quite exactly where I want it. So maybe I'll just like scale it down a little bit. And let's do it again. Let's just go from the whole house, a longer dimension is better. So we'll call that 44'8". All right. And so now I'm going to just go in here, hide the rest of my model, and we're going to measure from here to here like that. And I'm going to type in 44'8", enter. And so we're going to resize it again. So now this dimension should match perfectly. And so we'll just kind of scoot that into place. All right, so now, and you can see that like I got my dimensions off when I was working on this piece. And so, this is where you start to make those decisions, like either you go back and start remodeling the house, and that's, it's more like that piece like that. You can see that maybe the landscape designer created a more accurate outline. I'm not sure. But the truth is, I'm not so hung up on perfection. This is a quick rendering representation. So I think what I'm going to do is just scoot the whole thing back and just work with like this patio. That's the critical piece for me, is just seeing this patio, kind of doing that. And, this might have been a good place to measure, to kind of scale it so that the patio works, and everything else is just going to fall into place. Maybe I would just scoot it out just a touch more and get that arc working out. That might help us. But we can tweak that as we go. If you like this video, click the BD button to subscribe to our channel. Every week we post new videos covering SketchUp, Layout, Lumion, and our Condoc Tools extension. If you are a professional architect or interior designer, you're going to love our tutorials.